long season. They planning on winning for the wrong reasons. Trying to get my number retired. Can't let these frauds beat us. I figured out the recipe. Never let opponents get the best of me. I'm focused on my legacy.
I need that. Big chips, man, I need that. Hustle hard on the job, you can see that. On my head is real good. We don't need your feedback. They clear the way with my crew coming through. What I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. What I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. Now what I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. Yeah. Beats, leave it in the street. Case on the news.
Honey, I dash, got it on, smash, foot on the gas. I will not crash, they will not stop me. Tenfold, copy, end zone, watch me celebrate. I'm cocky, I do my dance, jump in the stands. No man, the man, oh, deal with the hands. Thought he could guard me, I ruin they plans. I do what I want, they do what they can. Got it on, smash, foot on the gas. I will not crash, honey, y'all dash, 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 yeah. They can't catch up cause they lacking the stamina. Way too advanced to be playing with amateurs. Stay on attack when they tackle like damager. They react and play it back on the camera. Hot boy, just consider me flammable. Sure shot, I got all the intangibles. Need a leash, I'm a beast, I'm an animal. Heat the competition up like a Hannibal. Know the game like I wrote up the manual. I do weekly what you do on the annual. MVP, that decision unanimous. Big dogs, I don't think they can handle it. Battlefield, it's just me and my warriors. Guaranteed we emerging victorious. Years, blood, sweat, tears, it's glorious. I remember when they always ignoring us. Dash, got it on, smash, foot on the gas. I will not crash, they will not stop me. Tenfold, copy, end zone, watch me celebrate. I'm cocky, I do my dance, jump in the stands. No man, the man, oh, deal with the hands. Thought he could guard me, I ruin they plans. I do what I want, they do what they can. Got it on, smash, foot on the gas. I will not crash, honey, y'all dash, honey, y'all dash, honey, y'all dash, honey, y'all dash, honey, y'all dash. They slept on the team that they owe me. I need a ring and a trophy. I say I'm the best cause I am. It's no need in keeping it low-key. I can carve for the D like a turkey, or run straight through the D like a train. This year we ain't taking no losses. It's all about making the game. I hear a lot of trash talk. He call himself making a name. I put on the Jets. The coach regret even letting them stay in the game. Team around took a tumble. Next time be humble. I'm the lion in the jungle. You just trying not to fumble. Rumble, young man, rumble. Never slip nor stumble. I take off, poof, magic. Now watch me juke through the traffic. Footwork fantastic. Dominating every facet. Treat the pocket like plastic. Here come the blitz, pass it. Got it on, smash. Foot on the gas. I will not crash. Honey, y'all dash. Honey, y'all dash. Honey, y'all dash. Honey, y'all dash. Honey, y'all dash.
Okay, Coach, EA Sports coverage of the NFL has us in a very rainy Kansas City, Missouri at venerable Arrowhead Stadium. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Carolina Panthers and the Kansas City Chiefs. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. Johnson. He'll wind up getting a yard on the game's first play at second down.
When we talk about Luke Kuechly, you can't talk about his overall game without talking about his intelligence and how he controls the whole defense. He quarterbacks that defense and at times will actually make checks just like a quarterback would on offense to get them into the right defense. They definitely were on that play. How about that finish, holding that to a minimal gain.
On 2nd and 9, Bridgewater. It's Kelsey on the ground. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up third down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
And this is caught by Watkins. The completion there winds up a wash, and it'll bring up fourth down.
Pass complete, but no gain.
No yards.
Yeah.
So you file that as unsuccessful.
Yeah, you do, don't you? Except on the stats, throwing the ball.
Get a completion.
You get a catch.
Yeah.
But still, no yardage. Okay.
So Newton and the Panthers come up now 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. First carry for Christian McCaffrey. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
Mike, check. 59. All day, dog.
Newton. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
Yeah, good game catching the ball in the backfield a week ago, and they're going to try and involve him in that way in this game as well. But you can tell scouting is taking over. They're making it a little bit more difficult.
Defensively, they told us, hey, we've got to take him out of the passing game, limit it to just short runs, because he can really impact this offense. Here's Newton. And the Chiefs are going to get him. Chris Jones in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. I was waiting for them to get there first because the momentum they carried from last week, unbelievable. They had a snowman, 8 sacks.
You were surprised that it took this long, and this isn't that long, truthfully. But here's the thing. If you've seen that on tape, your offensive line is going to have to ask for help. Tight end has to stay in. If you use a fullback, keep him in. Make sure you have extra people to try and keep your quarterback upright. Didn't work on that play.
The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. And on the first drive, 3 and out. I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
Now Johnson. Oh, and Nelson space to operate. He's at the 30, the 20, 10, and all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. Kerryon Johnson, his 2nd touchdown on the season, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. And his kick is no good. An inauspicious start here kicking-wise as this one stays a 6-0 game. So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. This fielded at the 2. And he's all the way up across the 40 and down at the 42-yard line. Great return.
At some point, we're going to get it through our heads. Special teams, special teams, special teams. The spark that often wins games.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, if they touch it on this possession to try and get things moving.
So get it to the horses.
Without a doubt. They're the ones that typically end up in the end zone.
A good pickup there at 22. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Newton going to hand it off to McCaffrey, and he won't get much. Maybe a couple. Down inside the 35 to the 34.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Let's go, D. Kill. Gun.
On 2nd down, McCaffrey. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
47's the mark, boy. 47. 20. 47's the mic.
Newton looking to throw on 3rd and 1. Being chased out left. Completes it to Samuel. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8.
Come on, fellas.
They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
And there was absolutely zero pressure on the quarterback on that play. 3rd down, and he has all the time in the world to eventually find an open receiver for a 1st down pickup.
Set. Look at it. Mike 47. Me and you all day. I'm coming.
They'll try to run with McCaffrey. And he'll work his way closer to the goal line as he's got 5 down to the 3. So that run gets him about halfway home.
Yes, now 2nd and goal. The end zone beckons. It looms. They can do whatever they want. Full playbook. Run it again, or they can go play action and try and put it in that way.
So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal.
They still playing soft. Y'all playing wrong.
On the ground, McCaffrey. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
So it's 3rd and goal now, and this is where the Arrowhead crowd can make it very tough.
Gun. Mike's 47. Mike's 47. Get that quarterback.
Out of the gun, Newton. Forced out to his left. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. 4th down, and here's Graham Gano now in the field goal unit for the Panthers. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. And the 11-year veteran bangs it through, and they are on the board, trailing now 6-3. A good drive gets them inside the 5, but they could not punch it in.
And credit the defense, too. Make sure that happens, because that was the old bend but don't break approach. Made sure they contained them when they absolutely had to and forced the field goal attempt that went through.
The KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. They begin the drive with Johnson. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. That one good for 12 yards into Kansas City 1st. One thing's for sure, this defense has to figure out how to stop the ground game. He's eating them up here in the 1st quarter.
It looks like they have to go to different forces, aren't they? The conventional things aren't working too well. So I remember a coach of mine saying way back when a back's having a great game, you've got to get the ball out of his hands. See how far he can run without the ball. And what he meant was takeaways, knock it loose, because maybe you can't just stop him with just regular tackling.
6-3 is our score after 1. It's the NFL on EA Sports. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5.
Switch up.
Bridgewater now. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Brian Burns in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest ones, maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Panthers' 45-yard line. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on third down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times, because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down. Well, with the kind of half he's had, I think we can forgive him that run, right? Not every run's going to be a big play, is it?
No, and also the blocking just wasn't there. No room to run.
Yeah, defensively, they got to find a way to build on that because he's eating them alive in the first half.
Now on 2nd and 13. Bridgewater going up top. Looking for Watkins, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the safety, Eric Reed. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. It's almost like you can see the look of frustration on his face. 4 interceptions last week. We talked about it all week. What did he do wrong? And another one here in the first half.
And you can understand the frustration. You actually feel his pain a little bit. But the worst thing he can do is what you're seeing right now, showing the other team that he's frustrated. All they're going to do is double their efforts to make him even more frustrated. He's got to gather himself, compose himself, and keep fighting.
Well, he talked a lot about erasing that loss last week, getting back in the win column. We'll see how he responds. Now following the interception, here's Newton. Complete to Jones. It's a Carolina first down on a gain of 16. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. A first down run, not going to get him a whole lot. Maybe a yard. And looks like just 1 yard there. So that'll bring up 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
I got you, boy. I got you, boy. No. Show it up. Show it up. Say.
McCaffrey on the counter. And he's taken down. It's a gain of 3 from the 17 to the 20.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much.
Check. Let's go, defense. Hey! Defense. Here we go. Mike. Go. 59. Go.
Throwing on third down, Newton. And able to find Dorsett. And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
On first down, Newton. And Thomas has it. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. That's back-to-back plays of over 20 yards. We often, with Cam Newton, talk a lot about his legs. Don't forget about that arm.
He can throw it on a rope. He can loft it. He's got the touch that's been developed throughout his career. But the big part about just watching him throw it seems almost effortless.
1st and 10. Newton. He's going to fire this thing. And at the 7-yard line, the catch is made. And he is out of bounds, but first he gets it inside the 10 to the 7. Give him 32 on the play.
Here we go. Number 80. Come on. Roger. Watch the run. Gun. Check. Ready.
They'll run with McCaffrey. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina. Christian McCaffrey, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Panthers have taken the lead.
I know we don't talk about it enough, but the intelligence level of the guys up front blocking, the offensive linemen, maybe the smartest guys in football overall. Add in a little bit of athleticism and a whole lot of toughness, you've got a lot to deal with, don't you?
That's why the guys in the backfield get them really nice Christmas gifts, right?
If they're smart, they do.
This is taken at the 3. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. Of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Bridgewater. This pass going to be caught by Hardman. That one good for a 1st down pickup of 18 yards.
That's good for a Kansas City Chiefs 1st down.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Now a quick throw as that's complete on the hitch route. And he's got this down to the 35. An 11-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Chiefs 1st down.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Well, the incompletion, yes, but maybe here not the worst thing in the world?
No, not on 1st and 10. It actually gives them a chance to regroup, relax just a little bit. They huddle up, talk it over. Then they get a chance to continue their drive.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35.
I got you.
They'll throw again. Bridgewater. That's to his running back, Kerryon Johnson. Now the Panthers going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. To the air again with Bridgewater. And it's complete to Kelsey. And they're going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Panthers' 19.
Well, sometimes our pregame meetings do pay off, don't they? What did the guys in the locker room call him?
Well, they said it with a chuckle. They called him Old Reliable.
Yeah, that means he doesn't move quite as fast as he used to, but he still knows all the tricks, doesn't he? Even that little gentle push-off in order to get open. He finds a way to pick up a 1st down.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete. He was looking again for Kelsey there on that play, and now it's 2nd down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's the one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Bridgewater again. Gets it to Hardman. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. 15 yards on the play, first down. Seems as if the passing attack's starting to heat up a little bit here in the second quarter.
You can sense and you can see the momentum because now they're reading their patterns downfield, they're understanding the coverages, and they're finding the open holes in the defense.
And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. They come out here in the I. So the ball's moved to about the 1 after the penalty, first and goal. And they'll let the fullback try and take him home. And he is in. Touchdown, Kansas City. It's the fullback. His first touchdown on the year. And the Chiefs are going to jump back in front. This time, the extra point up and good. And that gives them a 3-point lead. Now after the touchdown, here's Rosas on to kick it away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
The Panthers take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. You've got less than 30 seconds left here in the half. You're well on your own side of the field. What are we doing here, Coach Davis?
Well, I'm trying something on first down, and it's something that's safe. It's something that's been done many times before. A lot of people say it's not even worth trying, but I'm running a draw. I'm running a screen. I'm seeing if something pops, and if it does, that can alter my strategy and potentially get me some points. And if it doesn't work, well, then you just run the clock out and go to the locker room.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
20.
The Chiefs will use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half. Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. To throw again. Newton. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And that's caught inside the 30. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. And now we'll get a late timeout as it comes in the waning moments of quarter number 2. So out comes the field goal team now for the second time here today. He hit his first one, this from 44 yards out now. Gano's kick is good, and that will knock things up here late in the first half. So they're able to make things level just before half and also leave very, very little time on the clock.
And I love the way that you phrased that. Brought a little soccer into it, and that's really apropos considering they just kicked a field goal to tie things up.
All square now at 13 all as he sends this one away. Very short kick. This will be taken by one of the up men. So thanks to the late field goal, we are all tied up heading to intermission. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. This fielded at the 2. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. They have a chance to break our tie here as we get a look at the first drive of quarter 3.
And it's such a tone setter, isn't it? Because both sides trying to seize momentum to begin the half. What do they have dialed up that'll give them an advantage to move the ball downfield?
Let's find out what they have dialed up. Torrey McTyer there on the tackle.
2nd and 6 at the 30-yard line.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Now it's Newton here off the bootleg. Looking long for Thomas. It got his man complete. A big play there for Carolina. 52 yards. Excellent execution, and now they're set up nicely.
Are they ever? Red zone? I wonder what the next play call is going to be, because after a big play like that, a lot of teams like to use the momentum to launch another one.
So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. From the red zone now, Newton. Escaping the pressure right, and he just throws this one away. Smart decision here this close to the end zone, and it brings up 2nd down.
Yeah, that one sailed on him. You've got to make sure you give your receiver a chance to come down inbounds, because they are very gifted. They'll make the circus catches, but they make them out of bounds. That does you no good.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. This is McCaffrey. And good downhill running. He's got 6 yards down to the 13. A field goal would get him the lead, but that's not what they're shooting for as they come up on 3rd down.
Great. 59 Mike. Check, 59.
Here's Newton. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
So it's his 3rd field goal now in the ball game, and they've needed his leg. This last one gives him the lead.
It's been a back-and-forth kind of a game, hasn't it? Now you got to tell your defense, guys, need you to make this stand up, because we got the momentum going in the right direction, but we need you to make sure we carry it home.
The KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
You got to give some credit. They're able to hop up in the air and bat that one away. And that's frustrating for an offensive lineman, because the only recourse is when he goes in the air to try and give him some type of a pop or a shove, hoping to bring his arms down.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Out of the gun, Bridgewater dumping it off for Johnson. And he's going to be taken down here, still a couple yards short of the 1st.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. And this is going to be ruled out, I think, just inside the 20. Yes, it will. Side judge calls it at the 19-yard line. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
Oh, wide open, complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. 39 yards there, a big one.
As we've seen over the years, offensive coordinators will often ease their way into drives. Many of them don't want to risk a turnover, put their defense in a bad spot, but not in this case.
Not at all. Forget about easing into it. They took a shot. It worked. A run on first down, but it's not going to get him much. Maybe a yard, and that's all. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Tough day. Tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. And he fires one, but incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
And this is good. He got just enough to clear the crossbar as he drops it in from long distance. And that will double their lead as it's up to 6. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
And they'll start the drive on the ground with Johnson. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They go play action. Bridgewater going deep here for Watkins. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on 1st down, but he couldn't reel it in. He was looking for Watkins that time, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
Ready up, 59. Mike's 59. Ready go. Check.
Throwing is Bridgewater. And this one complete to Smith. And this time not quite to the 30. He'll be down at the 31-yard line.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
A 2nd down completion got him 7. Now here's 3rd and 3.
56 to Mike, boys. 56. Check.
And again, it's Bridgewater. And the catch made by Johnson. And he's got the first as they'll bring him down at the 28-yard line. A 3rd down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough. This quarterback now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Now a 10th carry for Johnson. And they'll get this down to the 10. 18 yards there, and it'll be a 1st and goal.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive, they went 3 and out.
1st down and goal to go.
Here we go. Check, go. Keep it up, guys. Check. Let's go.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. Give him 3 on the game there. 2nd and goal.
Well, that's not a run that's going to make any of the highlight tapes, but they've been moving it well all game on the ground. This is another one that keeps them moving forward.
The line of scrimmage, the 7 now on 2nd and goal. Johnson. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. The tally there, -2 yards, brings up 3rd down. We're back now in KC. It's the Chiefs with a football, but with work to do on the scoreboard, they trail as we start quarter number 4. You got to think this is likely 4-down territory anyway, but they'll try to punch it in now on 3rd and goal. To throw, Bridgewater. And that's going to be knocked away in the end zone. It's incomplete.
All defenders get tired of hearing about their lack of hands and why they're playing defense instead of offense. But in this situation, it was the hands that made the play. Batting the ball away on an attempted touchdown pass. Excellent job. Way to knock it down.
So with that field goal, this one's now back within a field goal. Maybe not the ultimate result they wanted, but gets them that much closer.
This game is unfolding like a really good book, isn't it? Because I feel like there's a few more plot twists yet to be revealed before this one is over.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted, and we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5.
It's our time. It's our time. 20.
Here's Newton. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. That's caught inside the 20. Touchdown, Carolina. Curtis Samuel, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Panthers, they widen their lead.
As a fan, is there anything prettier than a well-executed post route?
No, it's a thing of beauty, especially when it's done like that for a touchdown.
The throw, the catch, and how about the run after to get it to the end zone?
Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. This will be fielded at the 6. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. The KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point?
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
I
don't know about that. Super tall.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. Johnson, the intended target, and now it's 3rd down.
Now, he's been a busy man out of the backfield. They've looked his way quite a bit so far in this game.
Nice job there defensively, though, adjusting, because a couple of his earlier catches, he was wide open. Not that time.
You mentioned the key word, adjustment. A better cover man on him now in space.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. From the shotgun, it's Bridgewater. And this is caught by Watkins. Give him 13 yards there and a Kansas City first down.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. On 1st and 10, Bridgewater. Complete. Smith has it. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. A gain of 6 there on first.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. And that is caught by Watkins for a Chief touchdown. Sammy Watkins, his 3rd touchdown now on the year, as they have now chopped this lead down to 3. Footing always a concern, but the extra point's up and good. And the lead is down to 2. Now after the touchdown, here's Rosas on to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. They're holding on right now to that slim advantage in a 1-score game. And you hear a lot about 2-minute offense and 4-minute offense. Obviously, the 4-minute offense applies here. How do they run that effectively?
Yeah, really what the 4-minute offense is you're just trying to grind the clock. So you want consistent gains, steady gains. Doesn't have to be big plays, but it has to be plays that gets first downs and keeps the ball away from your opponent.
But certainly throwing the ball is in the mix here.
It certainly is. Just make sure that you're careful with it. And again, get those first downs, keep possession of the football.
A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
This a big play for both sides. What will we see here? 3rd and 4.
Gun. 59 mark. Check, 59.
A shotgun snap for Newton. Eluding the pressure right. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked by Kendall Fuller.
I think that interception happened for 2 reasons. Quarterback gets outside the pocket and panics a little bit, and receiver doesn't make sure he's absolutely in an open spot. So there's a guy lurking, took the ball from him.
Yeah, so don't wave your arms, right, as a receiver if you're not wide open.
Got to know that you're open. Otherwise, just don't do it.
And he'll get across midfield and into Carolina territory.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
They go to Johnson again. In on the tackle there, Luke Kuechly.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
As big of a play as we've had in this one so far. This is 3rd and 3.
53 to Mike. 53. I'm coming after you.
They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. And this effort won't be enough as they rally up to stop him a couple of yards short. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down.
It's 4th down.
One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. Bridgewater to throw for it on 4th. That's to his running back, complete. Well, when you're leading in the 4th quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. Following the penalty, it's Johnson. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. Inside of 2 minutes remaining in a 2-point ball game. So the Chiefs in possession of the ball as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Here's Johnson. He's been busy this afternoon. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. Whistles now and a timeout. So defensively they burn it here with 1:51 left.
First and goal at the 2-yard line.
And the question now, how do they want to work the clock here on 1st and goal? A field goal would give them the late lead. They'll run it with Johnson. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
It's a loss of 1. Brings up 2nd and goal at the 3-yard line.
They come out here in the eye. So they're backed up to the 3-yard line, 2nd and goal. They'll try to run this one in. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
On goal-to-goal runs, when you create lost yardage plays, the only way that happens is either called pressure or what I like to call straight-ahead pursuit. A great read, and they get to the backfield and make the play.
And that was a big chunk of yardage lost. They need to reverse the trend. The last 2 plays have gone backwards. Now it's 3rd and goal. Now whistles and a flag down. Looked like one of the Chief linemen might have moved. A bad time for a false start penalty as they're backed up now for 3rd and goal.
Go, go, go. Check 50, check 50.
Here's Foreman. And he won't be close to a 1st down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, so no help there. And now 4th and goal.
Brings up 4th and goal.
So a big one coming now for Aldrick Rosas.
30-yard attempt.
And the kick by Rosas is good. And the sideline celebrates as they have taken the lead in the final minute. Big kick right there to give them the lead in the fourth, but there is still time left for a final drive.
Did they score too soon? Post-game will tell us, right? Depending on what happens on this drive, that's how we'll analyze it. If the other team scores, they scored too soon. If they somehow hold on, they managed the clock exactly right.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. They're only in need of a field goal, a decent amount of time on the clock. So tell me if I'm wrong. You don't have to be too panicked here.
No, not at all. I agree with you. And this is where your preparation and your confidence comes into play.
He's got a man complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A gain of 32 that time.
Now you're right on the edge of field goal range. You've still got time, but get up to the line of scrimmage and get set.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. He's back to throw. Gets this to his running back. It's Christian McCaffrey. That one good for 20 on the catch and run. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. And he did exactly what they needed him to do, Charles. Got out of bounds. They have no timeouts.
And they knew that before the play even began. Still executed it. How many times have we seen it happen where you know it, yet a guy's still looking for a timeout or trying to stay in bounds? He got it done.
A fourth quarter score now from Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. And that one pretty well wrapped up. The Bengals growing the lead even further. A win would be just their second of the year if they could hold on.
Check, 59. Hey, defense, let's go. Pick it up, D.
Back to throw. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. Second down. These are the spots, this stage of the game, where it pays to have speed on the perimeter, doesn't it?
It certainly does. And in the second quarter, he may very well have run by him. But in this situation, I know as a defender, I'm loosening up a couple of extra steps that allowed him to run with him stride for stride.
Well, once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10.
You. Hey! 59.
He'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. Down to 15 seconds now. Now Graham Gano to try the Panther field goal. This to almost certainly win the football game. And Gano's kick is right through. And the sideline celebrates as they have taken the lead in the final minute. So in a driving rain, he steps up, puts it through just like he's practicing in a gym somewhere.
How about that? Any little slip in this weather is going to throw him off. He stepped up there like it was perfect conditions, took dead aim, and knocked it through.
And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. So you're right there, but obviously the clock is not your friend. How do you handle this situation?
You're thinking two plays. One, to get yourself in position for the second one, whether you're able to get into field goal range or you have to try another deep pass, another Hail Mary. But you're trying to get the first one to a receiver, get out of bounds, and give yourself a chance to set things up for an easier shot at it.
We'll see if they can do it. Might be easier said than done. They'll look to throw. He's going to let it fly. And it's incomplete. So their final drive comes up empty. And with that, the ball game is over. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. We're still, you were wondering, could it happen? Possibly, even though we both knew it was a long shot.
So for the Panthers, their strong start to the year continues as they're up to 5-1. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week before they get back at it again. Meanwhile, for the Chiefs, the loss will move them back to 3-2 on the year. And they'll be on the road next week for a matchup with the Baltimore Ravens. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Thanks to our entire crew as well. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody.
Time to bring the bass bird.
Swear I'm going big like a lineman. She want bring the limes in. She wanna pull up to the crib, we can't dine in. Up right away, couldn't even get a fine in. Straight with the money we aligned in. Tell me how they broke, tryna chime in. Jesus watching over here in diamonds. He the only reason why I do not get violent. Ay, cause he gave me patience. Ay, swear that all makes sense. Ay, when you making bands can make friends. Cause I know they tryna shit like Ray-Bans. Got a bad little shorty wasting. And I own it, I ain't gotta pay rent. Ay, I know we the ones that ain't them. Put both hands together and I'm saying amen. Cause I'm going big, going big. Everywhere I go, they know the click. Way too many wins, they know the shit. They was hating, know they sick, acting like they know me. Cause I'm going big, going big. Everywhere I go, they know the click. Way too many wins, they know the shit. They was hating, know they sick, acting like they know me. Cause I'm going big, going bigger. Postmates how I deliver. My game too cold, made it shiver, but I'm still a hot boy. Cool it down, let it simmer. Hey, see him mad, got him bitter. Can't stop the shine with a dimmer. Only what I give her, and she let her call me baby, but I do not need a sitter. See me dip, yeah, I'm saucing. People at the bank see me often. Let the money run, it's a faucet. She gave me the that's a faucet. Took over the game, now we all in. I was down in the chips, then went all in. Throwing up the gang, ain't no bombing. Make my mama stop working, that's the promise. Going big, going big. Everywhere I go, they know the click. Way too many wins, they know the shit. They was hating, know they sick, acting like they know me. Cause I'm going big, going big. Everywhere I go, they know the click. Way too many wins, they know the shit. They was hating, know they sick, acting like they know me. Cause I'm
Time to bring the bass bird.